Yeah, so thank you very much. Welcome to HMP Prison Justice Group. We are live, and today we are interviewing CJ. CJ was a former inmate at Parc Prison. He's just served a rather substantial sentence, didn't you?
7 years, like.
7-year sentence, and just tell us, tell us a bit about yourself. How do you find yourself in prison?
Well, it's a long story, but basically, on a previous sentence, I'd done 3.5 years of it as a chapel orderly. And with my Asperger's and that, I kind of absorb things quite well. Not since after the COVID, but yeah. And I'd had all that god bollocks just drilled into me, and I've come out and I've ended up with a bird and that, and I was convinced from all the stuff I'd read in the Bible that she was possessed. So I tied her up and read the Bible to her for 3 hours. And I got 11 years for my trouble. Yeah. So yeah,
11 years. It's a big sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like a manslaughter sentence. Double figure, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big boy jail, But and then obviously you went to prison and you found yourself in
Parc on a recall.
On a recall in Parc, yeah. How was your experience?
Absolute hell, bro.
Absolute hell, is it? Because obviously, there's been 36 people who have died in the prison now. Yeah. There's been 15 prison officers arrested. Loads of others been sacked. There's been security bringing drugs. There's so much happening and stuff. Yeah. How do you feel the issue with Parc? Did they help you? Is there support there for you?
There is nothing like that at all. It's all just fake. Do you know what I mean? It's every time an inspector comes to the place, you got people that they like running about, slapping paint on the walls, and do you know what I mean? Anyone that's wielding a clipboard and that, they just kiss their ass and pretend everything's okay when it ain't.
Yeah.
They had a catering manager there, a woman from South Africa, and that Joe something or other. She ended up getting an 8-year sentence. So women getting birded off that hard, you can tell how serious that is.
Yeah. Wasn't that the one with the drugs found in the kitchen, wasn't it?
Yeah. Basically bringing them in through the catering department.
Right, and she got
tons of them.
Yeah. And that's not the only one, isn't it? There's been so many of them like that.
The biggest problem in there is security. They would have to even think about sorting Parc out, they would have to completely remove the whole security department and just replace it with other people.
Because obviously the governor of the security now is Victoria Brown.
I don't Vicky,
yeah, she's obviously the security governor at the moment. Security governor this, or 5 is awful. But
I spoke to her 2 days into the job. I was on the prison council for C-Wing, see?
Alright, yeah.
So I got about a year's worth of access to the governors, and most of them were just full of shit, to be fair.
And you say C-Wing, what is C-Wing?
Well, C-Wing's supposed to be the autism accredited wing for neurodiverse people and all that.
Vulnerable people then,
yeah, including, ADHD and whatever else and that. But unfortunately, because they can't fill it up, what they tend to do is go, all right, we've got 10 spare spaces here, let's just dump all the crap we don't want on the other wings down there, and they can just put up with them. So you'll have all the vulnerables with a bunch of arseholes they don't want on the other wings, causing them paperwork. So that's bad to start with. And then you've got the staff as well, so if someone's off sick and they get replaced by another screw from somewhere else, like say the block, and their job is just beating people up down the block, and then they come down and they're supposed to be working with vulnerables and that, and they're just terrorising them into suicide. It's not really good, is it? Do you know what I mean?
When you say beating people up in the block, I mean it was only the other day we actually had
I worked down there as well for 3 months. Like I said, I've been everywhere.
So you were obviously a red band down there.
No.
Was it a red band?
I didn't have a red band.
You didn't have a red band?
No.
It's a trusted role. But obviously there are, you're not meant to go to the doors and stuff, and there's kind of, you're not meant to go to doors when you're down there and stuff, but people do past things and drugs and stuff. And I'm just asking you about C-Wing. There's been a number of deaths in C-Wing. Were you present with any of these deaths? Did you?
I mean, I didn't witness any of them, but I was on the wing when they happened. Yeah. Most of it was just neglect, abuse, and I mean, I don't say it's too harsh a word to say torture. I mean, literally, some staff were just torturing inmates for amusement.
Yeah.
You know, it weren't even just malicious, it was just out of boredom, I think. You know, half of them get the job because they was bullied at school and they just want to dish it out to other people, really.
Yeah. It's like torture is a very serious thing. You know, when you're speaking about the vulnerable people on the wing, and you've got the torture element, it's very easy to see why some people, they feel the need that they just can't cope.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a duty of care there for these people as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's part of the job description, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you feel like Park Prison meet that duty of care? No.
No. I mean, they had a bird called Rachel started working there as a screw. She didn't even last a month.
Yeah.
Not because anything the inmates did to her or none of that. Like, she came there with a view to helping prisoners and rehabilitation and all that. And then she went, listen, I'm off, lads, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why, you're really nice and decent and, you know, you have a crack in that. Like, she's like, I can't do this. Like, do you know what I mean? This is just, the regime's a joke. They stop us trying to help you guys and that. Like, they just, literally, it's just open the doors, slop them some food, bang up and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just a joke.
There's been a lot of deaths from spice, really, in
I've seen
prison.
screws selling that shit in there.
Do you know any screws that have brought them in? Like, is how many by numbers? I know we've seen about 11 arrested.
The only one screw that I know for a fact was involved in all sorts, because she was like shagging inmates and giving out mobiles and all that.
Lindsay, is it?
Bringing drugs in.
Was that Lindsay?
Some short bird. And I've got all the names written down. I've got piles and piles of paperwork, man. Literally, I came out of 150 kilo of paperwork. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's going to take a lot longer than an hour and a half, or however long this is going to take to go through it all, mate.
And that's the thing. You know, there's obviously time constraints. But I just wanted to say as well, you were obviously there when these people were dying. You know, fentanyl and nitazines.
Nitazines, all that.
Obviously, you know, these cut with the spice and stuff, and it's very dangerous as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And with the spice, you know, you have a piece of paper in your hand. How do you know what's in there? How do you know if it's spice or if it's nothing?
Yeah.
You can't identify it, can you?
Nice.
And that's you know, that's one of the things that we feel has been a massive issue here, because you know, if somebody gives me a piece of paper, I don't know what's in there, I can't test it, and you know, if these people use that, you know, they could think it's the same batch that they had yesterday, but actually it's a completely different batch, and they use the same amount.
I'm totally against the stuff anyway, man.
Yeah.
And there's many reasons I'm not going to go into, but
yeah.
There was a guy on the internet who basically said he invented the stuff,
yeah.
and it was obvious he had ties with like the Illuminati and the Masons and whatever, and that stuff was basically created to destroy people. It is evil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, anyone dull enough to use it, I'm not saying it's their own fault, but you know, just stay the fuck away from the stuff, innit? You know, I mean, they've tailor-made that stuff to make people more pliable, you know, easier to abuse and that, like, you know, if someone's spiced up and that, it ain't hard to bend them up and stamp on their head, is it? Do you know what I mean? And
we actually speaking of this a lot, we do, when they're spiced up, they're quiet. They don't hear them. You know, you hear them when they need drugs, innit? Because they're kicking off, fucking trying to get up to the cell.
I saw a manager over on B block and that. I think it was either B4 or B1, because it was only two I was on. Right, stood in the doorway of the office with the table literally less than 10 foot away. With a couple of other screws, laughing their asses off, and it was probably one of them that sold it to the guy in the first place, while the guy's laying on the floor, foaming at the mouth, twitching, headbutting the table leg and that, and they didn't even call the nurses in, they just laughed while it went down, like.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, I mean, this is not right, isn't it?
And that's one of the lesser things I've seen in there.
But there's an element, I feel, that G4S, that they've actually normalised this behaviour now. It's gone on, the toxic culture of this private company has gone on for so long that this behaviour, these demonstrations of just complete failure.
They've been emboldened by years of getting away with it.
This 100%. Is normal to them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you go into prison, you're in your little bubble, you're in your tunnel vision, you've got your blinkers on. It's the same with them. They're in that routine as well. Like, it's very hard for them to see outside the box when they're being told by their managers, you sit inside the box and don't look outside. It's like, and I know for them, like, you know, G4S is a very powerful company. They are, they are the 7th largest employer in the world.
They got the contract for the tags again after they'd had it took off them before for tagging dead people for more money.
That's what they're £120 million fine they had for as well. They actually billed the government for as you said, tagging dead people. And Serco as well. The two. Private prisons. How can we trust this? Isn't it? How can we trust this? How do you trust people that tag, want to send a bill to the public for tagging the dead people is an absolute disgrace. Like,
And obviously there's been a lot of cold blues as well in Park, and people with injuries, and we had an incident reported to us that there was one lad in Park, I think it was B-Wing, broke his ankle, and Park didn't call an ambulance for him, left him 6 weeks in his cell with a broken ankle. Is that something what you've seen, like that?
I was in the
staff
office on
refusing
C-Wing
to call ambulances?
I was in the office on C-Wing. They'd asked me, I was a cleaner at the time, and they'd said, oh yeah, I'll come and just do a bit of sweep and mop and whatever and that, and I'm there in the background emptying a bin bag or whatever and that, and I've overheard them laughing and joking about how they'd broken a lad's wrist with handcuffs on it, like it was acceptable. There weren't no taking
broke his wrist.
Broke his wrist with a set of handcuffs.
They snapped his wrist.
Snapped
Used
the handcuffs
because that's unreasonable force, isn't it?
Unreasonable.
Yes, unreasonable. It's violent conduct, isn't it?
If you did that to someone out here, mate, you'd be facing jail.
And it's about
If
the
you
standards.
think about it, as well, if you did that, if that was the other way around, and you did that to an officer, a prison officer, it'd be a totally different story.
But the POA, every time you see them on the telly and that, they're all like, oh, we need, tasers and body armour and blah blah blah. We get piss and shit thrown at us. Yeah, and you ask for it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Giving them tasers is just giving them another weapon.
Another weapon, exactly.
Another weapon and another abuse of power.
Arming them to attack, innit?
Yeah.
Arming them to attack. It's and like with the Prison Officers Association, like they're very biased, innit?
Yeah, of course.
We look after our staff. They're only human beings.
Look at when they went on strike. They went on strike. They were told it was illegal, and they still didn't get done for it.
No, they didn't. They said that they walked out on safety grounds, isn't it?
It's really safe, isn't it? Just leaving the place abandoned, like.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. But what when you talk about Park Prison, with sort of the violence at the jail, can you sort of describe like some of the sort of things that you'd seen there? I know there's been a lot of stabbings and stuff.
Yeah, there was stabbings, there was kettlings, there was all sorts of things, and most of it's down to drugs.
Right.
Either debts for it or people off their face on it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I noticed about drugs in there was during lockdown. Like when we were actually locked down, not like when we was coming out in groups, when we was pure behind the door. It was like, hold up a minute, how come there's more drugs available now when nobody's got visits and nobody's got anything else coming in or out? Like, you can't tell me it's all drones when the place was flooded. It was coming in through the staff, mate.
Yeah.
They was paying their mortgages off on that shit, man.
And do you know the interesting thing about Park Prison? Like, obviously we've been there loads of times protesting, as you know. If you look at their cars, if you look at their registration plates,
they're all new, is it?
They earn, I think, 30 grand a year, 35 grand. I mean, they work PP as well, don't they? They get 25 pound off PP. But how do these people driving around in these brand new cars, like absolutely brand new cars, and when you actually see the cars, then really Mercedes and really high quality. It's like,
and they still plead in poverty on the wing.
Yeah, you're a 20-year-old guy. This is probably the first job you've ever had, and you sit outside with a Mercedes. It's like, how does that make sense?
And you've got firemen and all that, like nurses and stuff, running 3-4 jobs and that, like unable to pay for childcare and stuff, and eating out of food banks.
Yeah. How was your experience with healthcare at Park?
Healthcare, I had to wait over 2 years for a dentist, and then I got a temporary fill-in. I was lucky it wasn't on the top of my tooth, because it would have come out. It's like on the side. Yeah. Still in there now. Yeah. Can't even get a dentist out here. Yeah. The only good thing I had in there was having my large toenails ripped off, but that was done for a contract thing. So like the people come in.
They get paid to do the job.
That's it. Yeah, they weren't NHS. They were separate and that, like. But they was proper good. Man.
Yeah.
So
in mental health terms, like, is there any
I got
support?
none of that. I got none of that. I got slagged off plenty. Psychiatry and psychology and all that. Yeah. Too dangerous to release and all that sort of thing.
Because we know we've had people, like family members, messaging us saying that, like, there's people in Park that have got severe mental health and struggling.
Ashley Bennett. You've heard of Ashley Bennett?
Bennett from Swansea.
Is he?
Yeah, from Swansea. Yeah.
So
his mother's actually on the group.
Is it?
Yeah, Sylvia's actually on the group. Yeah.
All right, fair play.
Yeah, Bennett is a good. Brent is alright. Bennett is.
Well, they've kind of they've ruined his outlook on stuff by basically allowing him to get away with, you know, negative behaviours, and then they've positively reinforced things by you know, because he's not the sharpest tool in the box. Let's have it straight. But like then when they're like giving him half the wings ration of biscuits for the week to keep him quiet. Yeah. So they're basically positively reinforcing him kicking the crap out the door.
You kick off and we'll give you what you want.
So you know, if you're smashing the gaff up and that, we'll give you whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
You know, and then they're taking out of the wings budget to give him vape oils to shut him up. And it's like, well, that's not going to help the guy learn that he's doing something wrong, is it? Plus, to be fair, we all thought he should have been in a hospital, not in a prison.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was wandering around in like nappies and that, putting his hands down them and then touching people's, like people. Me and the lads, we had to prepare food in the cells because we weren't willing to go and do it on the landing while he's wandering around just, you know, shaking turds out onto the floor next to the server and stuff. And the screws didn't do nothing about it. You know, it's health hazard. You know, there's a Bix cleaning. I know all about health hazards.
Self harm in the prison in Parc is a massive problem.
It is.
Mismanagement of acts and stuff. Is that something that you witnessed when you were there?
Mate, I've heard screws talking to like my next door neighbour and that when he was on about cutting his throat, and they was like, "Go on then."
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking, isn't it?
Actually inciting his death.
Unbelievable. Just.
That's actually a really extraordinary thing to say. And
Daniel,
you know,
Daniel Watts, his name was.
No way.
Yeah. Do you know him as well?
No, I don't know the name. No. It's I mean, like, again, we talk about Duty Academy. Like, how you can't just be telling people to kill yourself.
I've
witnessed that behaviour myself.
You don't care.
I'm really familiar with what you just said about how then prison officers speak to people and stuff. It is actually how they do it as well. Do you know, like, self-harm incidents?
Okay, that's confusing.
Sorry.
I thought it was mine because I've got that tone on mine.
Sorry.
That's an alarm tone.
My bad.
Had to happen. I'm all this way, you know. Nah, it's fine.
Oh, man.
Is there anything that you want to say? Is there anything that you're like, this needs to be known? Like,
well, in the 7 years I was in Parc, they came up for being taken over twice by Black and White, and both times they managed to somehow blag their way into keeping the contract, and that shouldn't have happened. They should have been took over by Black and White the first time round. You know, they should not have G4S running anything more important than a bath.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think there was rumours, weren't there, when obviously Janet left. But G4S was losing the contract.
Yeah.
So,
and then beside that 10-year contract, and then come in Heather.
£371 million they got paid.
Yeah.
37.1 million a year. And this is about £9,000 a week.
And never want that extension, don't we? And 2 hours more inmates and more money.
And the thing is, okay, we've done numbers in it. You go to a Black and White prison, it costs about 52,000 a year. Parc do it for half the price. Yeah. They do it for about 26 grand. I think it's 26,600 per head, per inmate and stuff.
All prisoners, is
that? So Parc prison bidded 371 million, and the government accepted that bid. And then obviously you got 1,800 inmates in there. So when you actually do the maths, it works out that they're doing it for like half price.
Right,
so for us to say to the government, you know, get G4S out, is for us to say to the government, you pay more. You know, that's what it is. And it's not only that; it's the invested interests. You know, fill me.
Well, it's chumocracy business as well, because like, do you know about the fact that well, you got it's a fine example of it, right? Have you heard of a company called Gemma Records?
Yeah, Gemma
Records is owned and operated by someone who's got close links to people in Parliament.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of the old brown envelopes going under the hot table.
Charging you ridiculous amounts of money for things, extortion.
Things you can get in Oxford for 50p going for 80 quid and that.
It's like DHL, isn't it? Inflated prices and all that. And,
captive market. At the end of the day, it's not like you can just wander off down Tesco's on a decat, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know, one thing, you know, like you were there, obviously you left there in May, you said, didn't you?
May 9th,
Yeah. You were there with the inspection.
Yeah.
I was there for a few inspections.
You were there for the last inspection.
I didn't get to see any of these people.
They went A and B, they didn't it? Mostly. They went everywhere.
Whenever there was inspections, I always made a point of saying to people that I knew that were out and about and whatever, and that, if you see any of these people, give them my name and number and tell them where I am.
Yeah.
I always wanted to chat to them, and I never got the opportunity.
Well, in the build up to that inspection as well, like we seen that obviously Park went into red regime for a few weeks. Is that something what they did? Like, did they cover things up inside when the inspectors was coming?
All the time. Anyone like me or any of my mates and that were a little bit like loose-lipped and that, they just straight bang up, mate. Straight bang up.
And I think with red regime as well, like I mean, it's been like it since all summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
It's
the whole of summer for about 12-13 weeks was on red regime.
Since COVID, they've basically gone, oh, this is kind of...
It's a
handy. We
COVID
can
They
sit
learned
here
it
with
from
our feet
COVID,
on,
didn't
coffee
they?
on. Yeah.
This is the COVID regime.
Yeah.
Call it the red COVID regime.
I think what they do there is put them on red regime.
It's true.
The stats come down, the violence levels come down, and it makes them look better. And in reality, what they're doing is just caging people for 23 hours a day.
They do something as a temporary measure. I've seen it before, 2006-07, when they brought in the half-day Friday. You know about the half-day Friday thing. It used to be a full week. You used to have 10 work sessions a week. Now,
only work in the morning,
you
and
only work
social
the morning on a
early
Friday.
fish and chips.
Well, that then became a national policy. Do you know what it was? Started that off? One of the World Cups.
Was it?
The Screws wanted to watch the football on Friday afternoons.
This is it.
So they brought that in as a policy nationwide,
and obviously
and then it just stuck.
People want to go out to the prison Friday as well,
That's the one.
It's one of them. And also one of the things about Park
is to lock the doors and go down the pub.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about Park as well, there's very low staff on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's hardly the staff are there, but there's not many.
No.
It's like the day of rest, isn't it? Like just lock them up.
I always wondered why they'd say, it's like, red regime or whatever and all that, and they say, we're short-staffed and that, but then whenever anything happened, like if it kicked off and that, they'd soon turn up with 80 screws then, like, you know what I mean?
It's like they say they're short-staffed as well, but every time we've been to Park, all the staff car park is rammed.
Yeah.
You know, it's just rammed of cars, and you're thinking, where's... You know what I mean?
And we also know as well that when they're actually implementing this red regime on the wings, that there's actually 3 staff in the office, which is exactly what it'd be when the doors are open. So, you know, the ratio is 33 to 1 in Park, 33 inmates to every 1 officer, that's the ratio. They have 3 officers, there's about 100 people in a minute, 190, something like that. But it is bad. This is like...
If a mild special school was like, 20 staff for less than 80 pupils? I mean,
it's mad, isn't it?
That would be like 10 screws on each landing.
And if you have less staff on the wings, obviously that's a security issue, isn't it? It's causing massive problems, isn't it? Because obviously that's when people...
you have got are antagonising people.
Yeah. And the inmates are this is their home essentially, innit? They're very observatory, they see everything, and they pick up on them things, don't they? If there's less staff on, they can do something which they wouldn't, they can take advantage of the situation, to say, innit? And to try to, obviously,
that guy owes me money for spice and that, look, nobody's about, I'll drag him in the shower and stab him to death. Boom, job done.
How many drones have you seen in Park since you were
I've only ever heard one. I heard it whirring next door's window, like that was it, the motor and that, like. I never actually saw one, though. I see the screws running out onto the yards and that, but it was night time, so I never actually see them and that. But,
I mean, the Parker keeps saying, it's all drones, what's bringing it in, the management are there, but, in reality, it's
not all drones.
It's prison staff, it's officers, it's management.
Because they're not searching them. They're not searching the staff. If you're not getting searched, why would you fucking not?
Well, put it this way, if we go into prison, you get searched. If you're a visitor, going in to see you, visit somebody, you're searched, you get sniffer dogs there. But have the sniffer dogs at the prison already available to them. So why isn't every staff member walk into that prison?
If the RSPCA saw how they treat
search, sniffer dogs is done.
Disgusting.
It takes 2 seconds, sniffer dogs.
Disgusting, mate. They just jammed in the corner, left the back all day, and it stinks.
In filth, mate.
Absolutely. They should not be allowed to look after anybody, let alone dogs.
From humans. Where I was working waste management, and that was around stinking bins. I could smell them.
Disgusting. Disgusting. we actually looked at the accounts. We actually got hold of G4S's accounts for their recycling department, and what they actually didn't document that any recycling was going on there.
No.
They said there was zero. No, there was no money transactions either way.
Mate, they were pocketing that then. There was loads going out of there, bro.
Do Parc
Scrap metal and everything. Yeah.
I mean, like, you have to think about Parc as well. There's a lot of metal. Beds get smashed up, and windows get done. That's scrap metal, isn't it? Like you just said, scrap metal.
I was down there for 3 months, and we sent at least one lorry full of scrap metal out, and that was just the scrap metal.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, the walls are too high, and you can't see what happens inside the gym. If there was one thing that you could say, like, which is G4S's biggest issue, like, what would you say it was, like, the biggest problem that they have?
The root problem is security. Like I said, if they took black and white in there and just completely removed all the staff from security and replaced them with a whole new set of security staff, that would stem the problem.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's all of the other screws are beholden to the security department, right? See the thing with, I don't know how much you know about jail yourself. I mean, I've been in and out for 20 years, like many different jails, like 31 different jails all up and down the UK.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've noticed is, and I've been told it as well from asking about and that, governors, like even the #1 governor, can be refused entry to a facility based on through security. Security can just lie and turn around and lock the jail down and go, oh, there's an incident, and not even say what it is. Oh,
no
there's
justification.
just go on, bugger off. There's an incident,
and
just
there's
stop them
also
from coming in and controlling it.
No scrutiny of that either.
No scrutiny. No accountability.
They are G4S are trusted to police themselves.
Yeah,
essentially.
Basically, a market
everything, if they want to go back to their superiors and say, we got somebody got stabbed or whatever, they only do that if they actually document the stabbing. Like, if they actually do it properly, because we know for a fact, that the last couple of months, officers have been just seeing violence and stuff like that, and they're just turning their head. I didn't see it.
I had a mate in there, right, because of the phone calls being recorded and all that. He rang his mum up, and this was on C-Ring. Robert Peter Angus, his name is. I still need to get hold of his family. I don't know whether they're alive, because he was knocking on a bit himself, and told him, listen, whatever they told you is going to be utter bollocks and that, but they basically tried saying that because he'd been a previous alcoholic, it was liver failure that killed him. It wasn't. There was fuck all wrong with him, and then all of a sudden he just drops dead. They poisoned him, mate. They killed him because he'd been on the phone to his mum saying, listen, he'd been out and then he got recalled. Don't lose that paperwork I've left at yours, because I'm going to be suing them and all that. Boom, he's dead less than a fortnight later. Then they're sticking notices up by the CMS machines where you do your menu and all that, saying if anybody knows anything, come to us and speak to the investigators. And I said to everyone on the wing, don't even think about it, mate, because you'll be next. If you even go and tell them you know anything, they'll have you dead next, trust me.
You've been in Parc for 7 years.
7 years, mate.
Obviously, since you've been in 2022, there's been 36 deaths.
36.
How many deaths have you seen in that prison?
I've seen the results after of at least 3 where they've been running about and they've had people in their body bags and all that business, but I've never actually seen a death. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, someone falling off a landing or.
Obviously, they put the notices up every time.
So,
so.
do you know, like we were saying about you said obviously you've seen obviously 3 of the boys there. How did you speak to them, like, in the days before, or did they don't? How were they? Did they seem okay? Or
right. What's his name?
We're on about C-Wing now, yeah.
Well, no, this would have been B1. There was basically a guy, right? He had severe back problems, and they were refusing to get him treatment and all that. And he was coming and sitting with me and a load of the lads at the dinner tables and that, whenever we was having meals and that, right? And about 2 weeks before he killed himself, he hung himself and that, he said, I can't really take this anymore, lads, and all that, like, this is just too much and that, right? And he wasn't like a deadhead or a waste man or none of that, he was a tidy guy, he had money about him and all that, and expensive clothes, all the works and that, and he literally, I've done poems, I can fish them out for you, right? Like, I've done 3. It was a trio in like what's it, memoriam or whatever of him and that, yeah.
Memorial.
One of them actually got put in the Inside Times, and they didn't like printing most of my stuff, but because it slagged off G4S, they were all over it like a rash because they don't like them either.
No, they don't.
It's. Do you want me to fish it out? It's all about the deaths and that. Like, I mean, it's really relevant. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, we could probably have a look at it after this, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but yeah. So basically, he just said, look, you know, this is too much and all that. And then the next thing, you know, he's hung himself, and it was straight pure neglect. Do you know what I mean? They could have easily took him to hospital and dealt with things and that. They had him up on the freeze. He was walking. I don't know. Focus. He was walking like this, right? He was too proud to have anyone collect his food for him. He wouldn't let the screws do it. He wouldn't let none of the lads do it for him and that, yeah. And he's coming down 2 flights of stairs to get to the ones to get his food. It was taking him about half an hour to get his grub, right? And he was just in bits, mate. And he'd taken to smoking spice to numb the pain because they wouldn't give him no meds. Do you know what I mean? He's like, look, you know, I need to be on. Like, he weren't asking for like morphine or anything. He's just like, I need to be on like some tramadol or some DFs or something, just
to help my
But
pain.
he wasn't a junkie. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't that guy.
He was a genuine.
He was just a genuine geezer that needed something for his back.
And of course, like, you know, human beings are not blind, and if you see somebody like lounged over like that, you know, that's not a normal way to walk, isn't it? Like,
exactly.
There's a very clear indication that he needs help, like, you know. And also, he's saying he shouldn't even be on threes anyway. If somebody has a walking stick or mobility issues.
He was the manager of that wing at the time.
Who's that?
Matthew Toosey.
Oh, the class,
Big lump.
PCO5.
Well, he was a manager at the time. Then he ended up getting downgraded, and I think he was a gym screw for a bit. And then I don't know what he's doing now, but But yeah.
How did you find the management there?
Fucking joke, most of them.
Do you find it was like really hard just to get what you need, like?
Most of the time, yeah.
Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Just uphill struggle, climbing a greasy pole just for simple things.
I know.
Things you're entitled to, and you're having to go to war for them, like, literally.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is as well. That's a really good. That's exactly. I know with my experiences as well, I can relate to that so much.
I mean, me and the lads used to joke about all sorts of stuff because it's one of them, innit? If you don't have a laugh, you're only crying about it. We used to say things like, you know, it's just please refer to fuck off and try again. Do you know what I mean? You know, you'll find your app in the bin. It's been filed. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen a lot in Park as well. I think we released a lot of messages, didn't we?
Yeah. We have. We still got. Yeah. We have like. So obviously, the prison officers from Park had a WhatsApp group, and we managed to get into the group, and it took us. Well, I didn't even think you were on the group, have you? 40,000 messages we had from there. We still got the messages. We've only released about.
We've only released, so we've still got more to go.
I think we released like 10 sheets of them. We've got 40,000 messages in total,
What, this is Screws chatting to Screws?
Screws talking to Screws in the place which they thought they were safe. They weren't safe because obviously, you know, they thought they were safe. But we got into the phone, we got into the WhatsApp chat, and some of the stuff that they were saying, we haven't released some of that stuff, but
boasting about shit.
They were
planning attacks on him, right? Planning to beat up people.
On the ones that we've released, them messages showed that the Park prison officers were planning attacks on inmates. They'd say like, the inmates need to be broken physically and mentally. Tie a bag over his head. Very unprofessional criminal conduct. We actually had them arrested from the South Wales Police at Park Prison. And they didn't do nothing. They NFA'd all of them. Let them get away with everything. And then they want to come and arrest people then for like me just for being. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But if that was the other way around, it was us in WhatsApp chat planning to attack them. It
doesn't surprise me though, because look, they had a screw that was at a YO. I don't know what YO he was at, but he got sacked for being brutal to young offenders and that.
The juvies. The YOs too.
YOs, 18 or 21s, whatever.
YOs, right? Yeah.
And from having been sacked from that job, he then somehow managed to get a job. This was a big thing as well. At a place in Bristol. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was like one of these gaffs where you got all Down syndromes and that. And they actually had footage of him, hidden body cam footage of him, with this girl that was like Down syndrome and that, pinned by her shoulders with 2 chair legs and that, while he sat on the chair, turned round so the back's there and that, and he's leaning over the back of the chair, slapping her in the her face, calling her a slut and all that, yeah? And all the other staff were just falling in line with him because he was just a brutal animal. He was like a block screw or something.
But that's a woman.
And they were terrified.
And if he can do that to a Down syndrome
exactly,
girl,
and that's out here. That's
you
not
know
even in
what I
jail.
mean?
Do you know what I mean? How did he even get that job? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy. This is against that lack of policing themselves. It's not like they're expected to police themselves, isn't it? Like it's mad, isn't it? Like I can't police myself, can I? Like I'll do it. And, I can, but I can't. Like, but with them, their prison is very different, isn't it? Yeah. I just wanted to say another thing is how close? Obviously, how close were you? Did you get did you get close to any of the governors in there? Did you clean their offices, or did you have to?
I did clean quite a few offices. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say every single one of them was a piece of shit, because there was at least one in there that was an absolute diamond. But they moved him on and they shoved him on X Block like after he'd started doing things to try and help me and that. Yeah, a little guy looked like Penfold called Ryan Francis. If you've ever come across him. He was like 5 foot nothing and just
short guy.
Yeah. He was.
Works in reception, though, doesn't he?
Does he now?
I think. I don't know, man. I know that.
He was sound as fuck. But the rest of them shower shit like. You know what I mean, I don't think there was a single other governor in there. That
I want to ask you about a certain person. Do you know a guy called Lee Burridge?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Utter piece of shit. Yeah.
You know Lee Burridge?
Yeah. He was doing nickings and stuff down the block when I was an orderly down there. Utter scumbag, mate. Yeah. Corrupt as they come.
Is it? Yeah. Corrupt, yeah. Interesting.
In terms of obviously the management as well, we had a former prison officer who left there come forward to us. Obviously, she was talking about the management and how, she was saying that she couldn't speak to prisoners and help prisoners, and if she did, she'll be sacked. And eventually they sacked her, didn't they? They sacked her, got rid of her, and he says that the only people who are allowed in management are yes men, or yes people. And if you're not a yes person, your face don't fit you out the door. And that's the way it's been, it's disgusting.
Do you know anybody by the name of Dan Heyman?
Yeah. He's a piece of shit as well.
Is he still in Park? No?
Not sure, but he lied to my face about something that I blatantly found out less than a month later was utter bollocks. Tried saying that basically we'd lost our microwave on C Wing, and it was because some bullshit about it was supposed to have been fire hazard or something like that. Yeah, and he tried telling me in front of all of the lads going off to the gym at the time, because I pulled him as he was coming through the gate onto the wing, and they were all on their way off to the gym. So I had the whole gym crew as witnesses and that, and he said, oh yeah, it's blah blah, fire hazard and all that. Then one day I was being escorted back from the visits, and we went into D block next door, and I looked through onto their wing, and lo and behold, they had a microwave sat right next to the tier and that by the sink and that. So I went mad in the office and that on C Wing when I got back on my wing, and I said, listen, you want to get us a fucking microwave right now, because there's one next door, stop taking the fucking piss.
You meant to have 2 microwaves, didn't you? Because one for halal and then one for...
Yeah, all that, but we didn't have any microwave. Do you know what I mean? We were being told that was okay because they were a fire hazard and no one in the jail had them, which was just a blatant lie, and that was from him, Mr. Gold Badge fucking shit don't stink. I know. I don't go a lot on his wife either.
So what was it, when Heather was there, Heather Whitehead?
Waste of space.
She's obviously the director of the prison. Obviously we had her sacked and stuff, because of obviously the deaths and stuff, and obviously the riot. I actually spoke to Park Prison, I did, a couple of days before the riot happened, because we were told it was going to happen. Were you there in the riot? Were you? I
mean, I wasn't involved.
You weren't involved.
I was there when it went down. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. What happened?
It was on another wing. I was on C Wing, so
C Wing.
I think it was on B Block, wasn't it?
Yeah, B Block. We obviously we knew we actually told South Wales Police there was a riot going to happen. Somebody nearly died that day. Got stabbed in the neck, corner.
Wow.
Wasn't
a young lad, was it? Corner.
He got stabbed in the neck. He did.
Yeah.
Quite a young lad.
Young lad, dark hair.
30 wasn't he?
No, it's not what I'm thinking.
He was a young lad, and obviously it was over an issue with another guy. He was over drugs and stuff, and just stuck a knife in his neck, and it's blood and stuff. And
I'll tell you one thing I never liked the look of when it come to staff on prisoner relations was when I was on B1. opposite B1 was the it wasn't juveniles, it wasn't like young, it was the 18 to 21s or 25s.
Like a YO wing, yeah?
Sort of, but anyway, it was a specific unit, and basically they were just sticking gang members on it.
Yeah.
So you had all the Swansea lot, you had all the London lot, you had all the Birmingham lot. They just put all the gang members onto one wing, and then they just had them trying to kill each other all the time. And then whenever it went off, they'd like be one screw holding the door open, another 80 had come steaming down the corridor, and they'd go in there mob-handed, and they'd just be kicking them up and down the stairs and that. And we could see that from across the landing, apart from whenever they'd stuck like duvets up on the bars so that we couldn't see, because they'd be trying to hide things, do you know what I mean? Because that's how devious they are. But we did see it a couple of times, and it was just horrendous, do you know what I mean? They're just literally going in there, booting youths up and down the landings and that, like. Yeah. And that's standard practice for park staff, like.
You said you've been in 31 prisons.
Different nicks,
across England and Wales.
Most of the UK, yeah.
Would you say Park is one of the worst, or the worst you've been in? The worst.
Yeah.
And that's obviously that's consistent with the deaths and the data, the violence.
It's everything. Every factor you look at in that place, it's the worst.
And actually, you know, if we're actually being honest here and we're being impartial and we're being fair, Park actually used to be a reason, not, you know.
I've been in horrendous YOs and they're head and shoulders above Park, mate. You're talking Feltham, Brinsford, Glen Parva.
I've been to Brinsford as well.
Glen Parva, Brinny, man. I was getting smashed in the face with sockfuls of soap for nothing just because my face didn't fit. Like, I mean,
them boys are mad.
But yeah, like Glen Parva and that, I mean, that was like shitting in a bucket on the induction wing for 2 weeks.
Slop out,
You know, and
back to the 80s.
And that was still better than bloody Park, do you know what I mean?
Sad, isn't it?
It is sad.
You have to think of it like they can't just leave in it. Like they have to live. They have to just deal with it. And I suppose in some ways, for G4S, like, you know, we're making jail as tough as possible. Like they're kind of doing that, isn't it? Trying to make people's jail as tough as possible. Like
but there's ways of doing things. I mean, like just
respect, dignity. Like,
no, I mean, like, from the point of view of making it difficult, but it's not across the board. See, it's like, if the prison service said, right, okay, we're just going to have it all like, you know, back in the Borstal days, people marching around with bed packs over their heads in the yard in the pissing rain and all that, like, and that's going to be across the board, blanket, whatever, and that's every jail up and down the UK, fair enough. Park, G4S and all that, they're just doing their own thing. And it ain't, there's no, we're doing it for rehabilitation, it's just abuse. You know, bottom line is it's just abuse, there's no other way to describe it. You know?
There is no rehabilitation.
No.
They abandoned it.
I mean, they make money.
Along with their morals.
You know, every time they get someone to sign on the dotted line and sit somewhere for 6 weeks copying crap off of a whiteboard, they call that rehabilitation. It isn't, because none of it sticks. And they've proven that some of the nonce courses that they got in the various jails up and down the UK have done nothing but make the problem worse. So they've actually made them worse, not better. They were better off not doing anything rather than going on these courses. And it's $7,000 a head for them to sign on that bit of paper and sit in that chair.
It's mad.
It's all just money.
It's mad, isn't it? The whole thing is just a money pit.
Exactly.
It just goes in and nothing comes out. No change comes out. It's just a scam, isn't it? Absolute scam. Do you think that G4S should keep the contract for the jail?
I think G4S should be banned from the UK.
Strip them of all contracts.
Everything. Get them out of the UK.
The whole lot.
They're
Don't encourage them to stay.
They are a risk to national security. They're destabilising our country. They're destabilising.
You're better off with the Taliban running a jail.
They are like the Taliban in some ways. Like a cartel. We call them a cartel. We do. Run by the cartel leader, Will Stiles, the new director.
He's a waste of space as
he
well.
is. We actually done some research on him. He's got a very bad record of human rights violations in other prisons. That's not the change the public asked for. You know, we call him Still Will because he's still the same guy he used to be. Still human rights violation, lock up red regime. That's his MO.
He tried running his mouth in the council meetings, going on about what a wonderful job he'd done at. Was it 5 Wells or what was the one he came from?
5 Wells.
5 Wells. He tried banging on about what an amazing job he'd done there, and I was like, mate, that's not what I've been hearing.
It's not what we've
in crisis, and you've just turned up here like.
What's he like?
Utter pricks, just full of himself, like.
Is he? Yeah. Do you reckon he looks like Wally? Do you reckon he looks like Wally? Where's Wally? Is he the comic? Where's Wally with the glasses?
To be fair, he does.
Where's Wally? Where's Willy? I'll probably
he got had up right in a council meeting by a member of security staff on behalf of me, which was quite amazing, because you know I'm not exactly Mr. Ingratiated with all that shit. Yeah, I mean they've got it in for me, but they couldn't refuse me to be on the prison council because I hadn't done nothing wrong, and the entire wing voted for me. You know, it was one of them. They was like, you know, I can't remember her name now, but one of the governors. I was bending her ear about the Xboxes, and she said, "Oh, you'll have to do that through the prison council." And I said, "Oh, what's this prison council?" She's gone, "Oh yeah, basically people get voted in and all
like
that."
A committee in it.
Yeah, so
representative of the wing.
I'll just go through the wing and I'll just say, listen, when it comes to it, if anyone asks, man, just say you want me to do it and that. And they was all like, yeah, no worries. I said, I'll sort the Xboxes out. Over a year later, still not sorted out. Nothing. Just all bullshit. Vicky, what's his name? The security one he was on about her.
Dan Heyman.
No, the security one, the bird.
Victoria Wrong.
That's it, right. 2 days in the job. Yeah, I'll sort it out. No worries, nothing happened. Fucking, they made that Lee Burridge, the guy that was supposed to be in charge of dealing with it, nothing.
Lee's the one that Lee Burridge got hunchback in it. He's got like a hunchback. He's got like a little bit of weird walk in it. Like a weird walk in it. That's right. Security in Swansea told me that.
I mean,
weird walk.
Will Stiles come into a prison, obviously saying, making all these promises that he was going to change a prison, that you know he's going to turn it around and make it one of the best prisons in the UK. And in reality, from what we've seen, you know, the deaths are up. Violence is up, drugs being smuggled into prison is up. In reality, do you think that he's made that prison 10 times worse before he went in?
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like, you're there, innit? It's right in front of you, you're seeing it, you know, you're seeing everything right there, like, do you know what I mean? One thing I just wanted to ask you, Zal, was, final thing I just wanted to ask you, every time I speak to people, I always ask them one question at the end. And this is the question. I was just like, if I was G4S right now, what would you say to me?
Sort your act out.
Sort my act out. Do you reckon I could?
G4S.
Do you reckon I could if I was G4S?
Nah.
No? And they've proved that already, innit? They can sort it out. Yeah.
You'd be better off with, you know, people that have been sacked from McDonald's running that jail. Do you know what I mean? You know, people that can't flip burgers right would be a better option than half the clowns they got working in Park.
Do you think that Park should be closed down?
I mean, it ain't the jail, it's the dickheads running it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they're the problem.
Park's a nice jail. Listen,
yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad jail.
No,
You actually, the facility, good gym, good. The wings are, you know.
They're a little bit
okay.
down.
The cells are a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
The cells need doing out.
Leaking roofs.
Yeah, leaking roofs.
You know, rats and all that.
Rats as well, yeah.
There's a lot of things need
and
doing.
that's not just the officers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not just them. No, I just absolutely, is there anything else you wanted to say? Like, is there anything else, you know, you just wanted to just, you know?
They could stop the drones in a heartbeat. They don't need to bother spending. Apparently they were spending £5,000 per window, putting these new windows in just as I was leaving.
One a day.
That's a hell of a lot of bloody money, yeah.
And that's why they didn't do it before?
Well,
isn't it?
I don't know, but either way, right, it would have cost them a lot less money, right, to get military equipment,
anti-drone software.
Yeah, they've got this thing called D-drone that I looked into, and basically
it's a dome.
Yeah, there's two types of it. They've got handheld ones that look like ray guns and that, and like when it comes within range,
takes off the signal,
you can just make it land and just take it over.
Yeah, disabled
and then they've got ones that you can put on like the walls of like, you know, army bases or prisons or whatever.
So it's like a laser, like a.
It's just got like a range, and then when anything comes within that range, it just lands.
Yeah,
So how you know, if you had that all around the walls, how are you going to get drones in? They're just going to land outside the jail. They're not going to be able to come in.
I don't know if you know this, but in Amsterdam, they actually got birds trained to bring drones down. In Amsterdam. They actually train birds. I think it's owls. I think it is to actually bring drones down.
Wow!
As soon as they see a drone, they just fly and just bring it down. I mean, like, absolute genius.
And if they did that with the seagulls,
how much is an owl?
There's plenty of them there.
How much does an owl cost?
Do
you know what I mean? But yeah, man.
But this is the thing: the amount of money they spend on stupid things like new windows and that, and they could just spend probably a fraction of that putting in the right kit to do the job.
Yeah.
Well, we're spending all that money on drones. I mean, we're not saying that drones don't fly into prison because we do.
They do.
We do, but
that's not the main cause.
It's not the main cause of a drug.
It's an excuse.
They're spending all that money when in reality they should be targeting the corrupt prison officers that are taking it in, and you know, management are turning a blind eye to it. So that makes them, in my view, complicit.
It's the same philosophy as Keir Starmer and that used to be in charge of public prosecutions. And when he had Jimmy Savile's file come across his desk twice, and he did fuck all because he was part of all the whole. You know, he was mates with the royals, he was mates with Thatcher. I mean, there's pictures of him with Thatcher and all that. He was part of the establishment, right? So it all got covered up. But then they slag all the other nonsense off and that, but then they use them as scapegoats. Now they do the same thing with everything else. It's like, oh, look at this, don't worry about the people that are like the golden fucking people and that. Look at these fuckers that we throw under the bus. Do you know what I mean? They're doing worse themselves, but they're happy enough to throw Joe Bloggs under the bus.
100%.
Yeah, look at this, don't look. It's
just a distraction, isn't it? It's like distraction away from what's really happening.
Yeah, go and watch your football match. Don't worry about us scamming your taxes.
Yeah,
I mean, ours EastEnders, man. Don't worry about us, you know, fucking not filling your potholes in and paying this cunt £650,000 a year to do fuck all down the government. Like.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you for speaking to us, isn't it?
No worries, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's always really important to speak to people that's come out, especially people like you with that experience, because you know what you're talking about. You've been there, you know. I mentioned names to you, and you're just like, you know what you're talking about. So it's like really important that we actually speak to people like you and stuff. And thank you for speaking to us today, man. It's a long way to come.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Nice, mate.
CJ, stay in touch with you guys, and
thank you so much.
Try and do something to help Damon out. That'd be cool, because I kind of promised him I'd get him out within 5 years of my